Hey guys, hope everyone is going well. Today we're going to be talking about the one trait that every rider and racer must have in order to be successful, in order to be able to continually make progress with their training and racing over the long term. So that's what we're going to be focusing on today. So I'll wait a little bit for a few people to jump on as usual. For those of you that are the live stream faithfuls, which I love having you watching all the episodes. Going to be going country for a little bit over the next few days. So there could be a little bit of shortage of internet connection. So I'll try and get a couple of live streams done for you guys as best I can. But we'll see how we go. So what I'm going to talk about today is the number one trait that every rider and racer must have. And this thing is something that will allow you to be able to go far, not just in riding and racing, but in life as well. Okay, so we can apply this to business, apply this to work, apply this to family, relationship, whatever that is in life. And that number one thing is self-awareness. Okay, so being able to be critical of yourself, being able to have a look at what you can be better at, what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, and the areas that you feel you can improve. And the way that will help you with your riding and racing is being able to have a look at what areas you feel are holding you back and what areas you're doing well. Okay. And what I find with a lot of riders and racers is that they're just stuck in the grind of doing the work. They never take the time back to be able to reflect and have a look at themselves, to be able to analyze themselves, have a look at what they've done well this season, have a look at what they haven't done well, and have a look at the areas that they need to improve and be able to put a plan in place, okay? Because if we don't know where we're going, we don't know what we're trying to fix, we don't know which problem we're trying to solve, it's very hard for us to be able to do that. So what we need to be able to focus on is being able to make sure that we need to develop self-awareness, okay? And it's something you'll have to practice, but something you need to be able to pay attention to the decisions you're making. Hey, Nicole, and how you're feeling at certain times. Hey, Nick, during the day, during the year, during the season, and how you react to certain circumstances. Okay, so you need to be able to make sure that you're self-aware. You know exactly what you're doing, how you react to certain situations, but being self-aware enough to be able to dissect and rip apart the areas that need improvement, the areas that you're shit at, the areas that you need to be better at to be able to come back fitter, faster, stronger for next season. And this goes for riding as well. So this is obviously talking from a training point of view. If training is one of your weaker areas and fitness is one of your weaker areas, then you need to be able to be self-aware and go, okay, what I've been doing for the last season, 5 seasons, 10 seasons isn't working for me. I need to be able to get help from someone else. I need to be able to do something differently than what I've been doing previously because it's not helping me. You need to have that level of self-awareness and critical thinking to be able to rip apart what you've been doing with your training, what you've been doing with your racing. Hey, Matty, good to have you on, man. What we want to be able to make sure is that we're self-aware enough to be able to make sure that we can pick up those areas, okay? And I find a lot of riders and racers they get stuck in the grind, stuck in just doing the work, okay? Rocking up to the track, just rocking up to training, that they end up they're just going through the motions and just doing stuff, but they don't take that time back to be able to have a look have a big overview over what's happened over the last season, rip that shit apart, and then be able to put a plan together for next season. So when we're talking about self-awareness as well with riding and racing, that's another area. Have a look at your riding and racing. Have a look at the last few race meets you've had towards the end of this season, okay? And what let you down, okay? So have a think about what your goals are. So your goal is to win. You want to be first, and you were coming 10th. What do you feel was the biggest thing holding you back from getting to that number one spot? So for some of you, that might be fitness. Some of you, that might be arm pump. Some of you, that might be energy. Some of that might be bike related, okay? Maybe it's that your speed wasn't there. Maybe you just didn't have the speed. Maybe the guys in front were just hands down. Lap times were always quicker than you. Maybe that's where you need to be spending most of your time, okay? But you need to be able to develop that level of critical thinking, and that comes with practice. Okay, but the first thing though is you need to be able to be self-aware, and you need to be able to giving yourself constructive criticism, giving yourself feedback, and this is going to allow you to grow as an athlete, as a racer, much quicker. Because what we're going to be able to do is be able to give yourself feedback a lot quicker. Okay, so you've got to be constantly looking at everything you're doing. So look at your nutrition. How can you make it better? Look at your strength training. How can you make it better? Look at your conditioning. How can you make it better? Look at your mindset. How can you make it better? Look at your flexibility. How can you make it better? Entry speed to corners. How can you make it better? Jumps, make it better. Exit speed, make it better. Okay, sand tracks, make it better. Gravel, flat corners, banked corners, ruts, whatever it is, mud maybe. Okay, well, I know one of the big things for me that I really struggled with my 14 years of racing was racing in the mud. And you know why? Because the only time I ever raced in the mud was when it was race day. Okay, because whenever it was raining or it was wet or the weather was miserable, we didn't go riding. Okay, because we had to. It would take a lot more effort to be able to clean everything and organise everything and get there. And we had to go sit out in the rain. So we never did it. Okay, and that's no wonder I was never any good in the mud, because as soon as the mud races come, I was shit because I never practiced in them, because I tried to avoid the areas that I was shit. And generally, riders and racers will do that. Everyone does. It's just human nature. You'll try and do more of the stuff that you enjoy and less of the stuff that you don't enjoy. Okay, and generally that will mean the stuff that you're good at, you'll try and do more of. The stuff that you're not as good at, that feels a bit uncomfortable, that you're not awesome at, you won't do as much of. And that's the part of riding and racing where ego comes into it. And a lot of people get caught up with their ego by only wanting to do the stuff that they're good at, or only focusing on the areas that they're good at. Okay, if they're shit at ruts, they don't want to go and practice ruts because they're not good at them. Okay, if they're shit at sand tracks, they want to avoid the sand tracks. They want to go ride on the gravel. Okay, all the hard pack stuff. And you need to be able to develop that level of self-awareness to be able to put yourselves in those situations where you're doing things that you're not good at, knowing that it's going to be able to make you better. Okay, and it takes a lot to be able to do that, to be able to step back from your racing, step back from your riding, swallow your pride a little bit, okay, and be able to step back and go and do things that make you look like a rookie. Go and do things that make you look like you've just started riding, okay, in order for you to be able to be better. Although you may not enjoy it as much at the start, we need to get those weaknesses worked on continually to be able to get them to a level where they're as good as your strengths. We make those weaknesses a strength. And every time we spend a bit of time making those weaknesses a strength, we got one less weakness and we have one extra strength. So we make you a shit ton better because we've eliminated a weakness and we've added a strength. So, but the only way to be able to do that is to put the time in with the stuff that you're shit at. And obviously the off season now, or pre-season, which it should be, working into next year is the perfect time to do that, because you don't have races every week. You're not trying to get the bike ready, trying to get the bike sorted, and everything's just a big rush, and no traveling. Okay, you can get out and ride fairly consistently, and you can go and ride at different places, and you can work on things that you want to do. So if that means going to a track and practicing a few corners, awesome. If that means practicing a few jumps, awesome. Okay, that means practicing on sand tracks, gravel tracks, flat corners, whatever it is. You just need to find that weakness and find whatever's holding you back. So just do a little bit of an analysis, a little bit of a review on your last few races or even this season. So have a look at where you finished up, have a look at where you're hoping to finish up, and have a look at what was the one major thing you can pinpoint that held you back from being able to get to where you were. What stopped you from being able to achieve what you wanted to achieve? And then put an action plan in place over the off season. So put in a plan to be able to progress, to be able to make sure that you get there. And that means putting in the time in stuff that you don't necessarily enjoy. Okay. So if you don't like ruts and you try and avoid ruts, okay, then when you go out on the off season, you need to spend all your time tackling ruts. If you're really good at doing jumps, don't go and practice more jumps. Okay, you're already good at them. What you need to be able to do is go and spend most of your time practicing ruts and make them as enjoyable as what the jumps are. Okay, and the only way to be able to do that is spending a heap more time with them. It's not necessarily that we don't like the particular activity. It's just that we don't like not being good at it. Okay, we prefer to do the stuff, just in general, everyone likes to do the stuff that they're good at. No one likes to do stuff that they're not good at. Okay, think back to school days. You probably did more work with maybe PE or the sports that you liked, and the things that you didn't like, you did the bare minimum to be able to get across, or maybe not even that, okay, to get across the line. And your riding and racing is the same, but except if you really want that success and you really want those best results, we need to be able to put in the time with the weaknesses to be able to eliminate them. And we need to eliminate all those weaknesses as best we can. And then once we've done that, then we can start to build everything up, okay? But you're only going to be as strong as your biggest weakness. So if you've got, let's just say you've got five gravel tracks and one sand track, and you know that you're shit on sand, then that's awesome that you're really, really good on gravel, but that one sand track is going to let you down, okay? You're only going to be as strong as your weakest link. Likewise, if there's one mud race this season, okay, and you're really good at riding in normal weather, but not so good at riding in muddy weather or rain, then that's something you need to be able to practice and put the time towards to be able to be good at, because you're only going to be as strong as your weakest link, okay? Your biggest weakness is the thing that will hold you back the most. You're only as strong as that. It doesn't matter how good you are at corners or how good you are at jumps. The thing that you're weakest at is the thing that will hold you back the most, and that's the thing you need to be able to work on the most and be able to improve. So that's just a couple of things for you guys to practice. I know it's coming into pre-season, end of season, so just want to give you guys some really constructive stuff that you can get cracking with, so that we can get a good head start for next year while everyone else is fucking around going on holidays and having a good time, going partying on the weekends. We can start to get some solid work in over the next few months leading up into Christmas, and really be able to get ahead of everyone else and really be able to shine next year. So any questions, hit me up. You can post them in the comments. Otherwise, like I said, we're going to be down south, so we're going to Busselton, which is south of Perth, here in WA. So we're going to be doing that over the next few days and over the weekend. So the service will be in and out, but hopefully we can get a couple of live streams up for you guys. We'll see how we go. So remember, train hard, race harder, guys, and also have a great weekend if I don't speak to you before then. See ya.